All right, everyone. So this video will probably be deleted by tomorrow or sometime soon, as this topic does get quite personal for me, and at the moment, I feel like it is necessary to talk about, but I might regret it later. But like I said, I do just kind of feel like this topic is something that I feel the need to make a video about and use my platform as a way to express this. Um, and I feel like it's an important topic that needs to be talked about. Like I said, I also might just regret making this video and delete it sometime soon, even tomorrow. But with this being said, this video is a serious type of video. I understand if you're not want to watch this. There was just a situation within my community. I wanted to address this and speak upon it. I want to talk about jokes primarily in this video. Jokes are something that are enjoyed by many people, but can also hurt someone mentally if they are on the receiving end of the joke. I myself am fine with jokes towards me, as this is something I've dealt with for the majority of my life, and is something I am just not used to, or I am just used to at this point. Not everyone is the same, however. We are all not built the same, and that is the beauty of human beings. Not everyone is the same, not everyone thinks the same way, and that's what helps us improve as a species and what helps us improve as people. I'm not I'm not one of those people on Twitter who will find a way to get mad over every little thing, and I usually don't speak upon topics like this, as that is not who I am. Uh, what I'm referring to here is how people are getting mad at Mr. Beast for, literally spending a couple $1 million on a set for Squid Games. People are like, use that money to help the poor people out, help people out with that money. While on the side, he's literally donating more than like $100 million on his Mr. Beast philanthropy videos, and literally runs a food bank on his own. And people are still mad at him because he spent $3 million on a project he wants to make for a video, while he literally actively is helping our planet by doing the Team Seas thing, the Team Trees thing, and literally runs a whole food bank and has supplied so much food to needy people. And it's just insane that people are getting mad about that. But that's not the point I'm trying to make this about here. But like as I mentioned earlier, this topic in itself does get personal to me. There are jokes that are okay to say, and there are jokes that are just outright not okay to say at all. You also have to understand the people you are speaking to. If there's someone who you have barely interacted with in person, you wouldn't just start saying some risky jokes right off the bat. At least that's how I feel, and a majority of others feel. You start out by getting to know them and what they're comfortable with, and this is something that also needs to be transferred online as well. You can't expect everyone to just be okay with a certain joke you say. That's just not the world we live in. You have to understand boundaries, and that is something you learn by making mistakes, and sometimes that means being called out for it. It sucks, but it is a learning process. Some jokes, like I said, are just too far and just shouldn't be said, and one of those jokes is kill yourself. Like, in no way is that just a joke. There are people in different mental states as you. While you might have meant it as a joke, they may not have taken it as a joke and can take that personally and hold that comment in their heads for a long time. Now imagine if that person was dealing with some mental stuff at the time. When you're in a mental state that isn't good, you start thinking irrationally. I only know this because a few years ago, I was in a state of depression and on vacation while my parents and family were away from the place I was staying at. I'd pulled a gun out of the bag of one of the suitcases my family brought along, and held up to my head with with my finger on the trigger. Uh, I felt like I had nothing left to be here for. I was constantly being the one who the one people had in their jokes and stuff didn't feel right to me, and I only felt like I was making mistakes. This is where the rational part comes in. In reality, I had only made like one mistake, but in my head, that mistake would just seem so much larger than it really was, and it just nagged at me for hours and hours. This is why this certain phrase is so personal to me, because I want to watch out for others who are experiencing what I went through, and I don't want to see someone who has to deal with that, uh, and then being told that. When someone says it to me now, I just brush it off and forget about it, because that person has such little relevance to me and how I live my life that I could just care less. I literally had someone comment this yesterday in one of my YouTube posts. Like, this is an ongoing issue, and I just hate seeing it, because seeing someone else have this said to them really bothers me personally, and that's why I made this video. People just think twice before. Please just think twice before saying any comment to someone else. Other people may be having a bad day, and to say something like that to someone, or just saying any joke for that matter, when you do not even know them, can make them go to extreme measures. Every person has feelings, and when you're online, you lose that realization that there's another human being behind that character or screen. If you are someone who receives these types of jokes or is constantly being harassed, the best thing you can do is to try and ignore it to the best of your ability. These people more than likely only want attention, and by giving them any sort of response, they're just getting what they want. I know this is easier said than done, but it can be done, and it is something we all have to work on. I've almost perfected this, and nothing really bothers me. The only time I quote unquote act out when someone says this is on stream occasionally to try and farm content off of them, because it's entertaining sometimes. Obviously, if there's something like that's like really personal, like yeah, I'll just ignore and brush it off. But sometimes if someone just says something really dumb and that's just meant to be a troll, then yeah, I'll say something and start using it as a piece of content. I would also suggest mentioning that you are not comfortable with something like this being said to you, but this is something you have to be careful with, because as I mentioned, these people just want attention. I also want to mention that I've also been someone who makes jokes about other people way too much, so I'm not perfect either, but I'm slowly getting better at not doing so. Most of the time I understand the situation when I say jokes, but there are times when I may go too overboard with a joke. I'm not a perfect person either, and I'm fixing that part of me. You more than likely have no idea who that person is or where they are at in life, so please just consider this. You will know when it is okay to say certain things around someone once you have gotten to know them. Like, for example, one of my admins is an avid watcher of anime and is a self-proclaimed weeb, so I make jokes about that a little bit in some ways, and from his actions towards these jokes, it seems like he understands that it is a joke. Therefore, I feel more comfortable saying that around him. And I think that's something we need to carry with us, because there's obviously some people that are making a joke just as a joke, and there's people that are outside. Like, there's obviously gonna be those Twitter Andes that are literally just gonna, or Twitter Karens I should call them, that are just gonna be the ones outside of the joke that aren't part of the group that know each other. They're gonna see these jokes and they're gonna feel offended because of it, even though they're not even part of the joke and not part of the whole entire thing. They just feel the need to speak out against it, even though they have no reason to actually speak out against it. That's not what I'm trying to be here for. I'm just trying to say that just please understand that there's someone else there, and please make sure you actually know the person before saying any sort of joke like to them that can be proclaimed as risky or just rude. Like I said, please just make sure you're second guessing yourself before sending any message to someone that you don't exactly know online, because like I said, you do lose that realization that there is someone else, and you wouldn't do the same thing as if you were in person with someone, because there's two different fields of thought there that go within your brain. Even though you may feel like you'd say that to them, you really wouldn't say that to someone else if you met them in person. It's just how our brains are designed. So yeah, see you guys later. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.